Hello, welcome back, guys, on my YouTube channel. And today is 2nd February, and now in this video, we are going to read the editorial section of the Hindu newspaper. And in this video, we will read this column from the editorial page. And after that, I will make another video for the Hindu newspaper where I will read this article also. So I will make two videos today for the 2nd February editorial section. So let's start with our first video and the first reading section. So here it is. Now I have zoom in the page. So let's start reading it. So let me just zoom in. Okay, so now it's, I hope now you can see it. So there is about our national budget and big on hopes, short on ideas. So budget have lots of hopes, but it has not given clear ideas. The budget aims to focus on infrastructure, that is very good thing, that and connectivity also, but lacks growth invigorating proposals. But it is lacking in giving the clear picture of growth invigorating proposal. Financial Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's fourth successive budget. It was her fourth successive budget. While commensalical in its approach, is not exactly bubbling with new ideas. However, it didn't give any new idea. This budget was not bubbling with any new ideas. All the schemes has been introduced. They were already known, and with the economy still in search of durable momentum, and because the economy that could help entrance the recovery from the last fiscal year's record contraction. So economy still needs a momentum because it has since the last 2 year, because of COVID pandemic and another lockdown issues, it has been contracted also. So Miss Neeta Raman has missed an opportunity to address the flagging customer spending in the wake of erosion in real income and saving through a combination of tax break for the middle class and cash handouts for the poor. And in this budget, Mr. Miss Sita Raman has only missed an opportunity where he could give a few relaxation in the tax and also gives the cash handout to the poor person, because in this time there is no real income for them. So that's why in that budget there was only focusing on infrastructure and other things. So this however this budget was made for the future perspective, but there in this time we have lots of difficulties, lots of problem because of COVID time, and we need a momentum also. And even as the minister acknowledged the role public capital expenditure could play in crowding in private investment at a time when private investment seems to require that support and to help to pump prime demand in the economy. The budget outlay of 7.5 lakh crore for the capital account marks just a 24.4 point increase from the revised estimate of 6.03 lakh crore for the current fiscal. So in the current fiscal, there was only 24% increase in the capital outlay, capital spending, which was last year 6.03, and it was just 24% increase. However, this year was tremendously hit by COVID second wave, so there is a need a lots of investment because the private investment also seems to require support from government. To be sure, Sitaraman's speech highlighted the PM Gati Shakti. However, it is sure that in her speech was highlighting most of the point. There is a scheme that PM Gati Shakti, a transformative approach for economic growth and sustainable development, and this approach is for a revolutionary development in the road, railways, highways, seven engines. I will talk about those seven engines also, which has been talked about in this budget. So it is a sustainable for the sustainable development by considering the future that is to be powered by the seven engines. So that sustainable development will be powered by seven engines, and those seven engines are road, railways, airports, ports, mass transport, waterways, and logistic infrastructure. So these are the seven engine which will lead this, the sustainable development in future. While the broad sweep of the public infrastructure envisioned by the program could potentially be truly transformative, it were to be executed as imagined. The budget is largely short on details where it concerns the specifies and pencil its sum figured only for the routes and railway components. So in this budget there was not so much detail that how these all these transformative steps will be taken. It was only talking about the short details, what will be happen, how much expressway will be given, how many roadway, and how and there will be 400 Vande Bharat Express will be run also. So it didn't give a broad picture of everything. The budget lists a master plan for expressway, and the budget also lists a master plans for expressway will be formulated, which, which was formulated in 2020-23 under the scheme a project, and it has projected that 25,000 kilometers of routes will be added to the national highways, or the talk of enabling seamlessly multimodal movement of goods and people, and provide multimodal connectivity between mass urban transit system and railway station. So it's a, what is a multimodal connectivity? Multimodal connectivity is like connectivity through trains, connectivity through public transport, through waterways, and different mode of. So now government is trying to enable. Just now there is a dedicated freight corridor, western dedicated freight corridor, there is a highway. So it will be a multimodal movement of goods and people also. However, all sounds are familiar refrain from the past speech. But if it if we will talk about it, it is all we are already familiar about it, because they have already told all these things in their previous speeches. Spending outlays on several other key sectors, including healthcare, and spending also outlay that there are also other sectors like healthcare, rural for the rural development in the vital jobs and income providing rural employment guarantee scheme. This budget have been talked about all these scheme, but there was a shrink as percentage of overall expenditure in the budget estimate. But for the next fiscal, the expenditure will be is shrunk from the revised estimate for the current year, even if in some cases it is very marginally. That these sectors have been forced to bear the impact of government's keenness to broadly, as so these sectors have been forced, they had faced that the government is going to decrease the fiscal deficit, with the budget projecting and narrowing the fiscal deficit of 6.4% of GDP from the 6.9%. So that's why government has cutted the budget for these schemes different time, because government is majorly focusing on decreasing the fiscal deficit on its priority. Government spending on healthcare ought to have instead being significantly increased, and government, however, expenditure government expenditure should be increased on healthcare, as we had faced COVID last year, which brutally hurted the fed and our health system. The lesson from the and the pandemic is still going, the first two waves we have faced the consequences, we had seen the which type of public health infrastructure we had. A source of some solace through its an announcement of a national telemental health program. However, she sources that there will be a announcement that there will be a national telemental health program, and which will very helpful for the mental health problem of people that have been problems that have been exacerbated by the claustrophobic lockdown and plethora of anxiety triggered by the pandemic. It has happened because lots of anxieties has been triggered in the pandemic, and people are living in the alone, they couldn't talk with people, so that's why all this happened. And in a note of the ruling party's nationalist moving, and in also the ruling of national parties majorly focusing on nationalist, in the in line with government's push, and government also pushing the increase of self-reliance, or we can say it's Atmanirbhar. It's a, sorry for there is a technical glitch. Okay, now our text is back. So there is a self-reliance or Atmanirbhar. The finance minister has proposed a series of, and finance minister has also proposed a series of tariff policy setup that could help bolster. So by this tariffs and policy, domestic manufacturing will be boosted because they will import duties on the foreign manufacturing. A key policy element is a commitment to reduce import dependence in procurement for the country's defense. And the key point is that government is trying to reduce the defense force, the procurement for the government defense forces, and it is majorly focusing to that. And the minister has proposed a mark 68% of the armed force capital procurement budget to domestic industry, and in from that 68% will go to domestic industry. Now government will majorly focus on domestic industry in this year fiscal year. However, are not significant, are not insignificant. However, it's not insignificant because last year it was 58%. So there is 10% increase in this, and it can be considered as a significant increase. The tariff rationalization, which cover a broad swath of items, and the tariff will be for electronics, gems and jewelry, chemical input used by MSME unit and project and capital goods, could however have varying short-term impact. However, they will give a short-term impact also. Specifically, the move to phase out the concessional rates in capital goods and project import gradually and apply a moderate tariff of 7.5 could in the short term hurt infrastructure project and setting up of a new manufacturing capacity. However, this can also hamper because when in the infrastructure project, for the setting a manufacturing capacity, it will take a time. So when the government will increase the tariff on imports, so it will also get for the short term it will hamper, but it is very good move for the long term. Some proposed exemption for advanced machinery notwithstanding, the ministry has tried to address raising debate over how to deal with virtual currency by adopting a twin track approach. So government has also introduced that how it will going to virtual currency. So like majorly it is talking about crypto. So government didn't talk about crypto directly. So on the one hand, Ms. Raman proposed to introduce in the coming fiscal year central bank digital currency. So in the coming uh, year, government will also introduce a digital currency, and that's suppose that it will impact the boost of the digital economy on also and lead to more efficient and cheaper currency management by system. What will happen in this? This currency will be introduced by RBI. RBI issue digital rupee would leverage blockchain and other related. It will also give a boost in blockchain technologies in India. In parallel, she intends to tax from the transfer of, and in other hand, she also tends that there will be a tax income from the transfer of any virtual digital set at the rate of 30% on the profit of digital of the cryptocurrency, uh, with a deduction allowed only for the cost of acquisition. It remains to be seen if the government's effort at bringing the mushrooming trade and investment in multiplicity of virtual digital assets, including cryptocurrency, under the tax net would have salutary impacts beside adding a revenue stream to the exchequer. The minister's latest budget also skirt mention of the asset monetization plan mentioned in the last budget. So its budget also has skirts means is hell also deducted that which type of monetization government is going to do by selling, by doing disinvestment or selling its own asset, like doing selling its PSUs in a capital received from disinvestment. So this year it will be just 65,000 crore from the asset sale for this year, and as the last year it was 78,000 for the revised estimate for the current fiscal. The minister has had to increase gross borrowing to 40.95 lakh crore, a 24% increase from the current fiscal's budget estimate. but a far sharper 43% jump from the revised estimate of 10.4 lakh 6 lakh crore. The resource crunch manifest in the proposed higher debt issuance is ultimately bound to get more active in the day ahead, given the budget's lack of growth invigorating proposal. So budget is not properly formed. It is according to this editor. So in this video, we have read the full Hindu editorial section. So now I hope you all like it. So please like this video and subscribe my channel. We will meet in another video where we will see the next article of the editorial section.